Hello, it's September 30th, 2016. This is End Times Trending. I'm Tony Samario, coming to you from my father, BroSal.org YouTube channel. And I just wanted to do a quick commentary on the U.S. election, which people know I don't talk about much because, you know, what's to talk about? It's a movie, it's a circus, it's a show. It has absolutely no bearing on the future, except one thing. It's pure distraction, propaganda, and brainwashing. And I just want to set a few facts straight, because what I notice is, you know, even some of the people that listen to me and understand me and are, you know, true believers in Jesus, true believers in Scripture, they know we're in the end times, and yet all I see is pure brainwashing. That Fox News channel is on 24 hours a day, regardless of the fact that it's well demonstrated that it not only is pure propaganda, but it's more powerful than any drug. It's laced with all sorts of subliminal messaging and, gosh, any other way they can use the technology we're unaware of to keep us attracted, like the way they used to put addictive chemicals into cigarettes so that you would, you know, every one that you managed to choke down would get you that much more hooked on the next one. And there's no doubt, I mean, this is what I really think the commentary is more important than, you know, there is no commentary on Hillary or Donald. They're the same thing. And yet what I see is the people that watch Fox News 24 hours a day and just won't turn it off, just won't throw the television out the window and understand that it's the worst drug in the world for anyone. It's destroying your mind. And the proof is that you will know everything about the end times. You will know everything about the manipulation, the propaganda, the terrorism, the psychological operations, the hoaxes. You'll see all that and nod your head, and then you'll watch Fox News for 24 hours a day, and then you'll go on social media and you'll bash Hillary and talk about we got to vote for Donald Trump. And I think, what? I mean, that to me just proves the brainwashing is that thorough. It's really that thorough, because there's no way any person with their mind working would not see the parody. That if anything, Donald Trump is a shill for Hillary Clinton. Now, for those that just can't unplug themselves from Fox News and go watch anything else, all this alternative media that could point you in the direction of who Donald Trump really is and what might be the real play going on, if you could stop your little brainwashed mind for 5 minutes, if you could turn Fox News off long enough so that you don't run from Fox News to your social media so you can go talk about how horrible Hillary is and how wonderful Donald is, well, you would find out a few facts about Donald from his own mouth, most of them. You watch the interviews of Donald, he's a big supporter of Hillary Clinton. Senator Clinton was one of his, you know, he loves Hillary Clinton. He loves Bill. You can watch Bill and Hillary talking about how Donald was one of their only donors to the Democrat, to the Clinton Foundation as a Republican. So they're very tight, this group of people that appear to be so against each other. And I got to ask you, if you were trying to get Hillary Clinton, the criminal, that we all agree is an absolute lying sack of criminal excrement, if you were trying to get her elected president, what would you have to do to stop any, let's say, more qualified or reasonable candidates. You know, if you realize that there'd just be no way to hide the fact that if you let her run against a Ron Paul or anybody, Bernie said, if you let her run against any human being, that she would be bound to lose. All of her dirty stuff would come out, like the Fox News people never stop with the brainwashing. And so almost anybody can be made to look better than Hillary. So what would you do? You'd have to find someone so outrageous, so absurd, that in the end, when you gave the election to Hillary, you could say, yeah, well, come on, Donald blew it. You know, look at the way he talks. Look at the things he says. He just alienated too many people. So look at it from that standpoint for a minute. You would hire Donald Trump as the Clintons if you were trying to get the Clintons elected. So that's number one. Then you look at Donald Trump's track record. He's a big Clinton fan. He's a big Clinton friend, claims it in his own mouth. Then you look at the deeper, darker side of Donald Trump. First of all, his descendancy is from Ashkenazi Jews. He just happens to be descended from Ashkenazi Jews from Germany, because Germany, before the Second World War, became sort of the center in Europe where the Jews were the most welcome and had the best life. We've talked about that until they had a Second World War on purpose so they could scare the hell out of those Jews and get them back to Palestine that they had just stolen from the Arabs. So that whole oppressive intrigue of the Balfour Declaration to reestablish Palestine, and then to do it in the way that they've done for the whole 100 years through nothing but lies, deception, terror, and oppression, right? This great Christian country that we are, and the great Christian that Donald is. Donald Trump claims to be the number one Zionist. I mean, from his own mouth, for years, he's the number one Zionist in the country, by his own admission. So he will destroy anything except Israel. Not, you know, where's the platform that's pointing out what an oppressor Israel has been, and that we will, and he's ready to cut off Japan, he's ready to cut off NATO countries. I mean, he's got all this tough talk. But boy, you don't hear the Donald talking about, you know, we're not going to keep, you know, our biggest drag is supporting this little terrorist country in the middle of all these Arab neighbors. That's who's causing the destabilization in the world. Destabilization. That's who's causing the Third World War. It comes about because the Zionist movement wants to kill all those Arabs and take all that land from the Nile to the Euphrates. And what's Donald Trump's perspective? Yeah, we should take the oil in Iraq. Well, sure we should, Donald. That's the good Christian thing to do. And we shouldn't tell Israel that, look, man, you're the big problem. So we're not going to keep sending you money. We're not going to protect you unless you start adhering to some reasonableness. So you stop building those settlements. You stop terrorizing your neighbors. You make peace with your neighbors, and then we'll protect you. Oh, no. Both the Donald and Hillary, they're there to bring us into this war. You brainwashed Fox News watchers. They are both there to promote World War III, which, just so you know, is going to destroy most of the lives in America and Europe. So most of the people we all call our family and friends are going to be killed because of the policies of Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, the people that pay them to be the mouthpieces, to be the garbage, you know. So, of course, I don't support either of them. And I don't see how the people that listen to me, who can't get off of Fox News and can't stop spending all their time being brainwashed and then regurgitating the brainwashing out onto social media. I see that as just so anti-aware and anti-Christian, of course, because the synagogue of Satan are these Zionist Jews that claim to be Jews but are not, and they are going to create world war to destroy most of the population of the world so they can start ruling it from Jerusalem. And Donald Trump is Zionist number one. So, you know, how could you listen to me and be so pro-Donald Trump? I don't get it. Next thing, Donald Trump is connected to nothing but either Zionist Jews or mafia, because that's how he made his money. That's how his father made his money in New York. You don't get to build skyscrapers in New York without the mafia. And if you just bother to get off Fox News and go watch some of the alternative media information about Donald Trump, you'll see who his pals are that have helped him all along. Mafia helped him in the real estate industry. He's a mafia pawn to the real estate people. Okay? He's no establishment guy. He is the absolute homegrown establishment pawn that does exactly what he's told, because that's why he gets to have the Miss America pageant. I mean, the guy's a womanizing pig, really. A Zionist womanizing pig is what Donald Trump represents to Hillary's criminal hag. They both should be being presented this way, and yet those people who can't get their face out of Fox News just can't stop regurgitating Fox News propaganda on social media as their way of contributing to the world right now. We're in the end times. We're coming to World War III that's going to destroy everything we've ever loved or held dear and cause the whole end of civilization as we know it. And yet, instead of presenting that to people, the truth, instead of enlightening people to the truth, these people that will not turn off Fox News and then regurgitate it on social media every day, all day long, that's all I see. That's all they do. I think, wow, how can you listen to me? And I see how. It's called brainwashing. It shows, what I'm trying to tell you is that's how powerful your television is, you guys. If you won't turn it off, you might as well turn me off, because I'm not helping you. If I'm not helping you to present the truth through your social media, you should be irritating people on both sides by pointing out what a criminal they both are, what the agenda is, so that people might wake up when they see it happening and say, geez, I remember those guys that were listening to Tony, they were pointing out to me that I couldn't trust Donald Trump any more than Hillary Clinton. Why? Because Trump's a gangster, Trump's a Zionist, Trump's a pawn, and he's probably a shill so that Hillary Clinton can get elected. And if it's any indication, Trump was not invited to the Bilderberg meeting this past year, but Hillary was. So if that's any indication for the past couple of decades or more as to who the next president will be, start to put Trump in some perspective, you guys, and turn off the Fox News channel if you want to produce any truth in your life. If you just want to be a propaganda pawn for the establishment, then yeah, keep yourself staring at Fox News so that you're imbibing that propaganda 24 hours a day and rushing off to your social media to share it with all your friends. Hillary's a dirty trickster. Hillary's a criminal. Hillary's a liar. Oh, but Trump, he's a anti-establishment, man of the people, right? Why don't you watch something else for 5 minutes first instead of repeating all those lies and propaganda? Trump is not anti-establishment. He was just a couple of years ago invited by his best friend is Bibi, right? Netanyahu's his buddy. He loves him. Watch it through his own mouth if you can get off Fox News long enough. He was invited to Israel to make an advertisement for Bibi, right? Donald Trump talking about what a great man Bibi is, right? Who is Netanyahu? He's a war criminal. He's an oppressor. He's the kind of person no Christian should be caught within 1,000,000 miles of supporting. And yet, Donald Trump is Netanyahu's best buddy. So, the real truth on Trump is he's a gangster, he's a Zionist, he's a shill. He's either there to get Hillary in or to get the world into an even worse state faster than Hillary can. So, I'm just getting so frustrated with seeing all this social media by people that I know listen to me and should be smarter. And yet they can't cut that cord of Fox News. They can't get off the propaganda tit brainwashing what's left of our lives so that they then spend all of their time on social media bashing Hillary Clinton and promoting Trump. I mean, it's absolutely absurd to me. It's a deception. You're making yourself a functionary in the devil's deception. I just don't understand how people will allow that. Again, I keep coming back to this. Brainwashing obviously works, is what I want you to understand. If you can't turn Fox News off, then you are brainwashed. If you can't turn the TV off in general, you are brainwashed. But if you're watching Fox News 24 hours a day, of course you're supporting Trump. Of course you are, because you've never heard anything about him. You've only heard the lies about him. I remember about 8 years ago, there was a youngish black senator who was campaigning for president. And boy, was he saying some stuff that sounded good. Man, he was going to change the world, and we were all so happy that someone could say such wonderful things. Well, I'm actually quite proud that I was one of the few people over 8 years ago at that time that was pointing out that Obama was a fake. Obama was a fake. He was a liar. He was saying campaign speeches because he was going to be the next president. But what has he done with that? He's been, as many people have, especially Fox News, they love to make Obama out now to be such a failure and a criminal and a Bush too and all this stuff, where, of course, while they're doing that, they're promoting what's even worse. Donald Trump has to be, because of the state of the world and the state of, I mean, at least Obama now is presenting the sort of anti-Israel. He's now the antithesis, so that Hillary or Trump can look very strong in supporting Israel. Nothing could be stupider, Americans. Nothing could be more brainwashed stupidity than to think that supporting Israel is what should be done. It should be a matter of supporting Israel to, well, it's impossible. The whole point of Zionism is that Israel is going to take over the world. They're going to take over the Middle East. They're going to rebuild a temple. Their Messiah is going to come, and they're going to rule the world. And that's what their Bible says, right? That's why we read in our scripture, those who claim to be Jews but are not, but are a synagogue of Satan. That's who these Ashkenazi Jews are. I mean, that's made so clear everywhere except Fox News. Everywhere in the alternative media that cares to bring that point to life will demonstrate that for you. And you can see that Donald Trump is their chief spokesman. He's the best friend of Netanyahu. not Obama. I mean, if there's anything to praise Obama about, it's being tough on Israel. But no, all you people who listen to me and apparently hear what's going on but don't get it, watch Fox News, and you're an Obama basher, you're a Hillary basher, and you're just all pro-Trump. And that is about the silliest, most, disconnected from truth, disconnected from Christianity, disconnected from the world we live in as you can possibly be. So, all I could say is turn off Fox News. Go watch some alternative media stuff on Donald Trump. Don't believe it all. It's all, everybody's got their line of propaganda they're trying to push. I say try and find more independent voices like me that are just independent investigators giving you the best that they can, and then take that with the grain of salt that's required. I don't believe everything they show me about Trump, but certain things don't lie, like the man speaking out of his own mouth, like the people he surrounds himself with all of his life. That's easy to see who they are and what they stand for and where they can come from. And so, you've only got a couple real factors in Trump's life: gangsters and Zionists. That's it. That's who's around Trump. To the point where all of his children, even though he's somehow a Christian, he claims, all of his children are married or dating Jews. All the people around him are not Christians. They're Jews. His company's run by Jews. His campaign's run by Jews. Zionist Jews. These are his buddies because, of course, he says it every chance he gets. He's 100% Israel. Well, who would support that in this modern day, knowing what we know? Here's one last interesting thing on Trump, the good Christian that he is. He's been asked by a couple of people, have you ever asked for forgiveness from your God? Then go ahead and watch those clips. Trump the Christian. Watch him dodge answering. And when he finally is pushed, he essentially says, no, I don't see it that way. I don't feel I have to ask for repentance or forgiveness. I don't make mistakes. Does that sound like a Christian to you? So, he's not what he says he is. He's certainly practically the opposite of what Fox News presents him as. And of course they present Hillary as the devil, because she is. It's easy. But if you'll just turn off Fox News long enough, you'll find out that Trump is the devil's brother, and Hillary and Trump are the same people working toward the same goal. And I just, you're all making me sick with this constant pro-Trump social media stance, like you're just another programmed, brainwashed dupe of the United States of America. So good luck, people. Talk to you soon.